Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Juditha, and on this channel we talk about all things mindset. We talk about your fears, we talk about your limiting beliefs, we talk about all those things that matter when you're trying to create your dream life. So today I want to talk about the difference between creating life and reacting to it, and how to know which one you're doing. Okay, so first you need to understand what it means to create life. When you're creating life, you are very intentional about doing things that make you feel good, things that make you feel fulfilled, things that are not only better for you in your life, but also some way, somehow could better the world or somebody else outside of you. So that is when you are creating life. You actually pay attention to what makes you happy, and you care less about what other people think. You care less about what the world tells you that you need to do or don't do. It's kind of like living selfishly just a little bit, right? Because at the end of the day, you can't pour from an empty cup. So you have to make sure that you feel good and you feel fulfilled, because when you feel that way, the way that pours out of you and into this world is going to be beneficial to everybody, to the people you love, to your friends. Like, it's gonna benefit everybody. Now, when you are reacting to life, that means you simply are just living a life and reacting to circumstances and experiences as they happen. So for example, if you went to college after high school but you didn't actually know what you wanted to do, you are just reacting to life, because what caused you going to college was the fact that you graduated high school. And because you graduated high school, you know that usually what everyone does is go to college next. Even if you didn't have a plan, even if you didn't know what you wanted to do, your reaction to life is, I'm going to go to college because it seems like the next logical step. So it's not a matter of right or wrong decisions. It's kind of more of a matter of you're letting life just happen, and then as it happens, you're deciding what you want to do, instead of deciding how you want life to be and then making sure that your actions align with that. So that's the difference between creating life or just reacting to it. Here are some signs that you are reacting to life. The first one is you don't really have a sense of like purpose, or you don't have a sense of direction on like where your life is going. You're kind of just in the moment, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but at some point you do have to have an idea of where you want to be, or what you want life to feel like 10 years from now, 5 years from now, because every decision that you make impacts how your life will look a few years from now. Now, it's not a bad thing if you feel lost right now, if you don't know your purpose, if you don't know what you want for your life. That's not a bad thing. It's a good place to start. But if you don't know what you want for your life, and that's causing you to feel uncomfortable, like emotions, then that means that the way that you're thinking about it and the way that your inner being is thinking about it is different. Like, that's what those uncomfortable emotions are for, because your inner being will never join you in your negativity. So that is how your spirit is able to stay, above the things that happen in this world. So when you feel those uncomfortable negative emotions, you can tell yourself like, okay, the way how I'm looking at this is not the same way that my higher self or my inner being is looking at this. So the best way for you to figure out what exactly, you want your life to look like, so that you feel like you have more direction, you feel like you have more purpose, is to start paying attention to what you desire, the things that you desire to do, the people that you desire to be around, the things that you desire to see in this world, or that you desire to see happen in this world. That might be something that you need to make happen. So pay attention closely, to the things that you desire to do, because your desires more than likely will take you to your purpose. Another sign that you're reacting to life is when you feel stressed all the time. Like, if you feel stressed, anxious, worried, that means something has gone wrong. Just like what I said before, when you feel a negative emotion, the way how you're looking at the problem is not the same way that your inner being is looking at the problem. And you get to adjust that. Like, use your emotions as a compass to guide you. When you don't feel good, you are heading in the wrong direction, okay? And that is not to be confused with the discomfort it takes to follow your dreams, because that's a different type of discomfort. That discomfort comes more from fear of definitely wanting to pursue something that you feel deeply about, but at the same time not wanting to fail at it. And that is different than stressing and worrying about where you currently are with no vision, with no perception of how you can possibly change your future, right? Because now feels so real. Your reality feels so real and you feel stuck, right? You feel like life happens and now I just have to react to it. But that is not true. Life as it is not fixed. At any time, at any moment, you can decide to change it. You just have to be willing to be bold enough to do it and curious enough to figure out exactly how you're going to do it. Once you set that intention and you open that door in your mind, like 100% the answers will come. But you first have to even believe in it, okay? And I can't make you believe in it. I can only give you the information. I can only give you the tips that I know 100% would change your life, and it's up to you to implement them. It sounds simple because it is. It might not be easy, but it definitely is simple. So if you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, you need to ask yourself, what direction am I currently headed in? And is this actually going to fulfill me? Because I'm feeling stressed, I'm feeling worried, I'm feeling overworked. The decisions that you make from that brain, from that mindset, is different than the decisions that you would make from a calm mind. Like my coach always says, you cannot fix a problem from the same mind that created it, right? If you're focused on the problem, it's impossible for the solution to come to you. And that is why you still are where you are if you don't like it. That brain that created the problem for you, the brain that got you to where you are now, you are still stuck in that mindset and you will not be able to solve your problems from that mindset. It won't happen, okay? You have to not only change your mindset, but you have to change your identity. You can't look at yourself as someone who has less than other people. You can't look at yourself as someone who can't do this or can't do that. Like the number one thing is you need to believe that whatever you want, you are capable of achieving. Like whatever it is you want life to look like, you are capable of making that happen. And anytime you say things like that's just life or real life happens, anytime you try to just push it off as if you have no control, then you absolutely will have no control, because that is what you believe, and you are always going to behave exactly as what and how you believe is true about you and the world around you. Like you cannot step outside the box. If you believe one thing, your actions, your behaviors, they will 100% align with that. You can't help it. That is just how your brain works. That is how your subconscious mind works. And that is how you create the personality that you call you. Another way to know if you're reacting to life is to check in with how you're making your decisions. When you think about things that you want to do and you decide not to do them, what is the cause of that? Is it because you're afraid? Is it because you just don't know where to start? Like, what are you basing your decisions off of? Because you need to make decisions based on hope, based on faith, based on exactly what you want to happen. Not based on fear, not based on the uncertainty, like not based on all the scary things in your brain that's going to make you want to quit or make you not even want to try. And that's the problem with most of us, is like you are where you are because you don't even want to put in the effort to figure out how to get to the next step. Like you don't even want to make your brain work hard. And let me tell you something, if you don't want to make your brain work hard, it won't. That's the number one thing. Your brain will stay in the safety of what is familiar because it's familiar. If you go home and you do a certain thing every day, your brain is comfortable with that. And that's why you can't be consistent. That's why you can't be disciplined with all the things you say you want to do, is because your brain is wired to keep you in what it considers to be safe. And the safest place to be is within your routines, the things that you have already established, whether it be good or whether it be bad. Once your brain is used to that pattern, it'll be hard to break that habit. That's why when you're trying to change, when you're trying to change your attitude, when you're trying to change your behavior, when you're trying to change your actions, it's going to be hard because your brain feels comfortable with where it is now. So unless you're aware of it, you won't be able to catch that. Like you'll just think that this is how I am. I am just this person. I am just lazy. I just can't get up. I am just blah, blah, blah. I just don't have the time. I just don't have the money. All of the excuses will sound real because your brain is going to easily accept them, because accepting them means you don't have to do anything to change them. That means you don't have to work hard. Okay? So be intentional, be aware of that, because you need to make sure that you're running the show and not your fears, not your insecurities, and not your doubts. Okay? So this leads me into my final point, which is that you cannot blame external factors for why you are where you are. Realize that exactly where you are today, the reason you're there is because you made decision after decision, you took action after action, and eventually this is where it led you. Okay, whether you like it or not, this is where your decisions have led you. It's not, at this point, if you're an adult, it's not your family's fault, it's not the world's fault, it's not the recession, it's not the world, it's not the USA, it's nobody's fault. It's your fault. Wherever you are, it's your fault. It's your responsibility. And you cannot give up your power by thinking that because you live in this world and because so many things happen, good things, bad things happen in this world, you feel like you are a victim of it and you can't catch a break because of it. But that's not true, because if that were the case, everybody would be living like you. Like, if the external circumstances dictated how all of our lives looked, everybody would have the same life because we're all experiencing the same thing, right? But no, we're all experiencing the same thing, but we all have different perspectives on how we look at it. We all have different ways of how we view these things, okay? We're hitting a recession. Rich people, they're not worried about it. People who know what their life is going to look like because they're putting in that work, they're not worried about it. But those of you who already felt like a victim to the system, oh, absolutely, it's going to affect you. It's going to affect you because you're already putting the control in someone else's hands. You're taking the control from yourself and saying, well, this is what's going on in the world, so of course it's going to affect me. Now, I'm not saying that the world events don't affect you, because of course they do. But what what it really comes down to is how you perceive it, and then how you allow it to affect you in your life. You have a decision. It can affect you a lot or it can affect you a little. Okay? If you lose a job, find another one. It doesn't sound easy, but it's very simple. And we try to make life harder than it is, when really all you have to do is move towards things that fulfill you. Move towards things that not only help you, but can help others. Move towards those things and back away from things that don't feel good. Like, back away from people that don't feel good. You have a choice. You're not stuck in that job. You're not stuck in that relationship. You're not stuck in that house. You're not stuck wherever you are. You're not stuck there. Right now, it just feels like it. So from now on, I want you to look at your problems like this. And I got this from one of my favorite YouTubers now. His name is Myron. Damn, I don't remember his last name, but I will be sure to link his video. But he said that your circumstances, like, they might slow you down, but they can't stop you. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Your circumstances might slow you down, but they cannot stop you. And if they feel like they are stopping you, I want you to know that's actually just a conscious decision that you're making to allow it to stop you. Okay, because there has been people who have been where you are and have made it out. Okay, and if you don't know of anyone, I need you to go on the internet and search for someone. Search for anyone successful, or whatever you would consider to be successful. Look it up, because there are plenty of people who have come from nothing. There are plenty of people who have come from a lot, and they are still able to make their life be exactly what they want it to be. And you have that same choice. So don't ever think that your circumstances are actually dictating the life that you get to live. Like, don't think that. It might feel like that in the moment, but I want you to start practicing the belief that this is just a feeling. This is just a belief that I have right now, and my beliefs can change. And the only thing you have to do to change your beliefs is to think a new thought over and over and over again. Every time you're about to doubt yourself, I want you to replace the thought with the thought that's actually going to serve you. Okay? Because a belief is just a thought that you keep thinking over and over again until it's just solidified, until it's just a part of who you are. Okay? Here are the signs to look for that you are actually creating life. The first one is you have a clear vision of what you want your life to look like. Like, the dream was given to you. You know exactly what you want to do, and you can see the path. Even though you don't know exactly how it'll look at, when you're here or when you're there, you can still feel optimistic about what's to come, because you know that what you want is possible for you. So that's when you know you're creating life. You have a goal, and you have every intention of seeing it through. You don't make quitting an option. You don't make the imposter syndrome, the self-doubt, the fears a problem. You realize that just like a child, you can strap it in the backseat and take it with you, but it cannot be the driver. You realize that, and you make sure that your actions align with that. Okay? The second way to know that you are creating life and not just reacting to it is that you take responsibility for your actions and your choices. You don't blame anything outside of you for why you are where you are. You know, at the end of the day, that we all have free will. We all have So many choices we can make every day that you wake up, choice after choice after choice. Like, you get to make these small choices, and little by little, as you shift those choices to align with what you really want, your life will change. All it takes is one little decision at a time to be different than the way you usually make decisions, and things will change for you. So take responsibility for where you are, and never give your power to anything or anyone outside of you. Because if you give your power away, then of course there's nothing you can do. Another way to know if you're creating life is to look at how you're solving your problems. Are you someone that allows your circumstances to be the thing that stops you? Like, are you someone that's going to allow where you are to make you feel like you'll never get anywhere else? Another way to know is that you are someone who, you understand that your mindset is everything. You understand that the way you see yourself, the way you love yourself, the way you think, the things that you believe, like, you understand that those things matter in creating the life that you want. And you're very intentional about making sure that you grow. And you might be that person. If you're watching this video, you might be that person now, because my channel is all about helping you grow. So if you were led here, it was for a reason. So make sure you take this as a sign to do the things that you know you want to do to take your power back. When you are creating life, you have a growth mindset. You don't allow the things that you don't know right now to stop you. Like, you don't allow the things that seem like limitations to stop you. You're always trying to figure out exactly how you're going to do it. You're always trying to figure out who you need to be to make sure that you get things done. That is how you know you are creating life. You're not just letting things be as they are. You realize that everything that you know now isn't everything that you always have to know. Like, your ability to learn is limitless, and you make sure that you act on that. Another sign that you are creating life instead of simply reacting to it is that you feel empowered. Okay, you feel like you do have control over what happens next, at least some control. Of course, some of it is in the universe's hands. You can't do anything about that. Like, there's a character development phase that we all have to go through that you cannot control and dictate the pace of. Okay, all you can do is simply choose how you respond every time something comes up. All you can do is choose how you want to live, how you want to feel, and then make sure that your actions are aligning with that. Because if your actions are aligning with that, if you feel good more than you feel bad, it's okay to feel bad sometimes. But if you are, majority of your time is spent, feeling happy or at least content, then you're right on track, because that is how you're supposed to feel. You're supposed to feel emotions that are aligned with your higher self, that are aligned with who you really are. And when you are not aligned with who you really are, that's the dis-ease that you feel. That's the negative emotions that you sometimes feel. It's just a message to you, hey, something is wrong here. Like, something needs to be redirected. Our focus, our attention, like, something needs to change. And you simply have the power to do that. You have everything you need right here, right now, to change. And that might be hard to believe from where you're standing, but if every day you practice trying to believe it, I promise you, eventually your mind will open to the possibilities that you have not even seen yet. You will start to come up with solutions that you wouldn't have thought of if you were staying stuck in the mindset of, I'm stuck where I am. Okay, but when you set the intention that there is some way, I don't see it now, but I know eventually I will. If you set that intention and every day you go to work, like, you fucking work your brain to believe that if you do that, eventually the solutions will come, the people will come, everything that you need to get you to another place, a place that feels just a little bit better than where you are now. Those things will appear, I promise, okay? And if you need any extra help, you can always apply to join my program, my one-on-one program, Dreams to Reality, where I literally will walk you through the process of completely changing your mindset so that you can see how just by choosing to believe in certain things, your life can change. The way you perceive the things that happen to you will 100% change. And I'll leave the link below to apply if you're interested. Just to recap, there's a big difference between reacting to life and creating life. And most of the time, you'll know which one you're doing by how you feel. You'll know by how much control you feel you have over the things that are going on in your life currently. You'll also know by how much responsibility you take over your life and over, the way it's going and the way that it can go. So that is how you know whether or not you are reacting or creating life. That is it for today's video. I hope you guys bloomed today because I know I did, and I will see you guys on the next one.